Let's do a complete rapid revision of the clavicle: anatomy, ossification, joints, fractures, and important clinical conditions. So without wasting time, let's start with basic anatomy of clavicle. The clavicle is a modified long bone. Unlike most long bones, it lies horizontally at the root of the neck. Its main job is to act like a strut. It holds the shoulder away from the chest, so the upper limb can move freely. That's why loss of clavicle support immediately affects shoulder movements. Another important point, the clavicle is subcutaneous, which means you can palpate it throughout its length. Ossification. The clavicle is the first bone to ossify in the human body. Ossification starts very early, around 5 to 6 weeks of intrauterine life. It is also unique because it shows both intramembranous and endochondral ossification. Ends and joints of the clavicle. The clavicle has two ends, medial and lateral. The medial end articulates with the manubrium sterni, forming the sternoclavicular joint. This is the only bony connection between the upper limb and the axioskeleton. The lateral end articulates with the acromion process of scapula, forming the acromioclavicular joint. Ligaments and attachments. On the inferior surface of the clavicle, there are two important landmarks: the conoid tubercle, which gives attachment to the conoid ligament, and the trapezoid line, which gives attachment to the trapezoid ligament. Together, these two ligaments form the coracoclavicular ligament, which plays a major role in stabilizing the shoulder. Fracture of clavicle. Clavicle fracture is very common, especially after a fall on an outstretched hand. The most common site of fracture is the middle 1/3 of the clavicle, or we can say the junction of medial 2/3 and lateral 1/3. After fracture, typical displacement occurs. The medial fragment is pulled upward by the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The lateral fragment moves downward due to the weight of the upper limb. This explains the visible shoulder droop in patients.
Neurovascular injury. Now, why is clavicle fracture dangerous? Because several vital structures lie just below it. The subclavian vein lies anteriorly and is the most commonly injured structure. Behind it lies the subclavian artery, and posterior to that lies the brachial plexus. Injury here can cause bleeding, ischemia, or neurological deficits in the upper limb.
Thoracic outlet syndrome. When the space between the clavicle and first rib becomes narrow, it can cause thoracic outlet syndrome. This leads to compression of the subclavian vessels or brachial plexus. Patients usually complain of pain, numbness, tingling, and weakness in the arm. Acromioclavicular joint dislocation. Injury to the coracoclavicular ligament leads to acromioclavicular joint dislocation. Clinically, this presents as a step deformity of the shoulder. Sternoclavicular joint dislocation is rare but serious. Posterior dislocation can compress the trachea, esophagus, or major vessels, making it a medical emergency. Congenital conditions. Failure of fusion of clavicle ossification centers causes congenital pseudarthrosis of clavicle, usually on the right side. In cladocranial dysostosis, the clavicles may be partially or completely absent, allowing patients to approximate their shoulders in the midline. Nerve supply of skin. The skin over the clavicle is supplied by the supraclavicular nerves arising from C3 and C4. Age estimation. The medial epiphysis of clavicle appears at around 18 to 20 years. It is the last epiphysis to fuse in the entire body. That's why clavicle is extremely important in age estimation and forensic cases.
If this helped, revise it once more and you'll never fear clavicle questions again. See you in next video.